Hello and welcome to the new video of the Mk4 Supra 2JZ NAT build. Kind of reswap, kind of rebuild, call it whatever you want. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show some of the bits that I have acquired over the last week or so. Some exciting stuff has come in, and also I have purchased some of the bits that I didn't plan to buy last time I was filming this video. So let me just go through the stuff and explain what is what. So here is a lot of exciting stuff that I have purchased. So first of all, AEM fuel pressure regulator with a few AN fittings that have all cost a pretty penny. So that's going to get mounted in the engine bay and is a crucial part to my fueling system. Then I have AN line. It's an interesting one because it is covered in this silicone-like stuff, but it seems to be a normal AN line. It's a bit different to the AN line that I already have. So this one's just pure metal on the outside, without the sort of the silicone stuff on the outside. So hopefully that will work just fine. Then I have got two of these. Basically, they are the new outlets for my radiator that I have. So I had the larger outlets welded in when I had the 1UZ. So obviously that's going to get redone. I just need to drop the radiator off to get re-welded, I guess. Then I have bought some new plugs. So 6 plugs for the coil packs and all the pins that I will need to figure out at some point. Then this is going to be my oil return for the turbo. So it's a weld-in bung. I just need to cut out a plate that's going to go right over there, and then I can basically make a oil return. And I have this electronic throttle body, which is kind of not what I was planning on doing before. So essentially, as I mentioned in the end of the last video, or at some point in the last video, the throttle body that I got with this front mount, not intercooler, I keep thinking intercooler, it's front mount intake manifold, there we go. As you can see, it's close, it's not touching, but there is like 5mm gap, which is obviously not great. So I was thinking to myself, well, what can I do to avoid this? I didn't want to just have this plate cut off and weld another angle, but then I realized, and I remembered that the CU that I have actually supports e-throttle. So that's why I got this electronic throttle body and a plug. So basically, I'm going to run the drive-by-wire throttle on Mk4 Supra. So obviously, if you know, you'll know that they never had electronic throttle bodies. So there's going to be some modifications here and there, and obviously I'll have to run extra wires. And obviously, this plate or this flange is for the 90mm throttle body. And this one is, I believe, 82, so this came from Sweden, I believe. The alternative was China, which I didn't want to order from China because it just sometimes takes a while to come through. This was delivered within like 2 days, so that was super impressive. So I'm going to have this flange cut off, this one welded in its place. It's a lot smaller, as you can see, the outside is a lot smaller compared to that as well, so basically that's going to save me a lot of space, which is nice in this scenario. And yeah, I'm going to be able to run the electronic throttle body. But to control the electronic throttle body, obviously I need this pedal. So it is and let me remember, I think it's GS430 pedal. And the new one is quite expensive, around £180, I believe, or 280, one of them. There is a company called Quiffbit that's selling it for a lot more than that. However, I found this as online after a lot of research, and essentially it looks like that. Obviously, I need to change the actual plastic part of the pedal. So we're going to do some research how that or what fits there, and also I will have to play around with this because apparently it doesn't fit 100%, even the one you buy from Garage with Bits. So yeah, so that's going to be interesting. And the last bit to mention is that this plug is basically idle air control valve plug off a Mk4 Supra or 2JZ. So I bought that new as well with the pins, which I have put here. So obviously I'll have the pins to run. So that is all the stuff I have purchased. Oh no, another thing that I have purchased is the actual hoses for the radiator. So it's going to go something like that. And I've got the bottom one as well. So both genuine Toyota bits, which is very nice. So that's enough of talking. A lot of the stuff has been purchased, which is nice. But now I'm going to go ahead and refit this gear linkage and hope for the best and that my gears can be shifted now. So just bolted up or just rather fitted the gear linkage, and happy to report that we are sat at the right angle. Ignore the state of the center console. He has unfortunately been covered in something like Plastidip. If I can find one in way better condition, I will buy one. But they're not available new anymore, I don't think. Unfortunately, I think they're available in left-hand drive, but not in right-hand drive. So yeah, ignore that for now. And there we go. For first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and reverse. So really happy with that. I can finally bolt up the gearbox, and hopefully I won't have to touch it again. But knowing my luck, I probably will. But for now, I'm really happy with this. Obviously, I don't know the condition of this gearbox because, well, I bought it together with a lot of other parts, and I'll see how it goes when I finally get the car running, which is a long time away. Right, so the gearbox is now fully bolted in. It's in its final resting place, and the gear linkage is all sorted out. I'm happy with those. Obviously, I can't show you at the moment because the inlet manifold is now getting refabricated, sort of. So just getting a little bit modified. But once I've bolted up the engine, the clearance for the fuel lines for the AN fittings has become way better. I've got plenty of space there now. And the next thing I have worked on is mounting the fuel pressure regulator. So let me show you. The fuel pressure regulator is going to live somewhere around here. This is not the final rendition of the bracket. It's actually the first rendition of the bracket. Just proof of concept, basically. There's nothing wrong with it as such. The fuel pressure regulator is on there and it can stay there. However, I want a nicer looking bracket that I can get to either paint or powder coat. And I want to make it slightly smaller, so this size can be half, and I want sort of the upright to be a bit taller, and then obviously I can trim the bottom of it, and then that's going to be a lot nicer. So when it comes to the other bit I've done, so I've ordered this oil housing removal kit, whatever it's called, the sandwich plate, and I had an issue with it not fitting. Unfortunately, the company I bought it from were, well, useless, and I had to figure it out myself. And basically, the adapter they sent me, that I can see if I can see, I can't see it. So basically, one of the adapters was wrong, so I had to order a new one, and now that's fully bolted up, so I can run my oil feed from here. The OEM fuel oil pressure regulator is there, so that's all good. The next thing is, so I've kind of put these oil, I keep saying the wrong things. I've put these heater hoses sort of together. So this is the OEM Supra hose, and so is that one in the middle. So the bottom one I'm fine with. This one looks a bit wrong. I don't know if it's this side too tall, but I'd like it to sit a bit nicer. I might order the new OEM lines, but it kind of does the job for now, so I'm not too bothered about it. Although it kind of, yeah, it's not great, but it will do the job for now. Obviously, the clamps, ignore those because they need to be replaced. But I bolted up this return, coolant return. I need to block off this, and I actually don't know what it's for. I have already blocked off one of the feeds or returns on here. It's a black silicone that you can't actually see, so I need to put a clamp on that. I've got a new power steering pump on the way. That should be the right one for the Supra, so again, good progress on that. Obviously the radiator hoses, and the next thing I'm going to show you is actually the work I've done on the accelerator pedal. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to be running the electronic throttle body, drive-by-wire, whatever you want to call it. And for that I have purchased a, let me remember, I think it was JS300/JS430 electronic accelerator, which has basically the sensor at the side of it rather than just pulling the cable. And I've come to a realization I made a mistake. It's the wrong one. I have now sourced the correct one. It's going to take a week or two to get to me because it's coming from Europe. Luckily I have friends in Europe who can buy me parts from there and ship them, so big thanks to them. But let me show you the current problem I have with the accelerator, although it's not a huge problem because it's not actually stopping me from continuing with the build. So a little issue I have with the accelerator, so that was the kick down button. I've trimmed that down. I've actually removed the actual button, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I'm probably going to order the actual accelerator stop, I think it's called. It's like £12, £15, but delivery is like a month. But the actual issue I'm having is the location of the accelerator. So if I zoom out, so that's the kick plate and it's in the right place, but this pedal is right to the kick plate. I could just heat this end up and bend it other way, but the accelerator that I've ordered is actually way better fitting, and it's from a Toyota Camry. So it's kind of difficult to get one in UK because Camrys were not sold in UK, but in Europe all sorts of cars have been imported, and luckily I found one accelerator pedal that was for sale and was like €23, something like that. But this pedal will allow me to actually continue with the wire, or we'll start with the wiring, because all that is going to be the same, basically same plug, same sensor, and that's going to be probably the job I start doing next. So essentially I'm coming to a point where most of the mechanical work is done. Obviously there's like little bits with the power steering and exhaust work, but I haven't ordered the turbo manifold yet. Neither have I ordered the turbo, and I'll be honest, I have no idea what turbo to go for. As I've mentioned in previous videos, my power aim is not huge. I'm aiming for like 400 horsepower, maybe a bit more later on. But I can imagine that if I go for more power, basically I'll have to build the engine, so put in different set of rods and pistons, which I might do at some point, but just not yet. So my current aim is around 400 horsepower. I just want it to drive nice and just actually get the car on the road for once, after a year and a half of building it at this point. Although I don't think it's a year and a half, it's a bit less, because I didn't really start building it till Christmas 22, 23, 22, so it's only been a year and like 2 months, and I did kind of have it completed at one point. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, so I don't know what turbo to go for. I've done a bit of research now into turbo sizing and stuff like that, so I probably could spend some time and just calculate the dimensions that I need for the power that I want, and then just try to go from there. But honestly at the moment, I don't think it's actually stopping me from continuing with the build much. So obviously the radiator and the intake manifold are away and getting modified. Once those are back, I will be able to complete the cooling system, and with the intake manifold on, that doesn't actually give me anything. Uh, I still need to order the injectors actually as well, which I think I know what I'm going to order. And what else do I need? So I have the coil packs, and I've got everything for the fuel system. I still need to order the map sensor and the boost controller and everything that basically around that. I need to order intercooler and the piping, which actually once I have the intake manifold, I could in theory buy an intercooler and get that sorted. But what I'm thinking at the moment, maybe I can get all the sensors that I need and put the intake manifold on, put the injectors in, and that should be everything that I need sensor wise to actually get the car running. So I'm thinking of, just to give me some satisfaction and sort of, emotional boost, so to speak. I'm thinking of on starting actually doing the wiring. I think there's going to be another episode of different mechanical bits. So obviously there's going to be the battery relocation. I have some E46 or E90 battery cables that I'm going to run. I was provided with some pictures this morning or this afternoon on how other guys done it. Looks mint. I just run it like actually not like BMW. The cable just runs underneath of the car where the fuel lines are. So I think I'm just going to do same sort of setup. So I need to do the full battery relocation and do the wiring for the starter motor and for the alternator. And what else I need to do? Obviously I'll need to hook up the fuel lines. I've got a nice actually AN adjustable wrench. Quite happy I've got that. And yeah, so after that next episode, I think I'm going to start working on the wiring. That's going to be a massive learning curve, but I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, I think I'm going to stop talking at this point and just end the video. So thank you for watching if you got this far. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. It's really nice to see that subscriber number slowly but surely going up. I'm not aiming to be the next Irish, but it's nice to get some sort of reward for the effort that I go through to actually make these videos. And never know, maybe one day I'll be a tenth of what Irish is. Probably not going to happen, but one can dream. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.